Hey guys, and welcome back for another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm your host Jack, and I'm here with Liam as always.
How's it going?
And today's video is requested by one of our top fans, Tatjana, who wants us to talk about whether there should be more bad endings in the Dark Pictures Anthology, like the Ultimatum ending. Okay, mate, so let's just get straight into it. Do you think there should be more bad endings in DPA games?
Yes, so obviously I do. What I want to say is that obviously these games are built around how well we get on, what our choices are. So, it goes without saying, right, that with these DPA games, you need a variety of endings. You need endings where if all 5 characters get out, it's all happy and lovely and they're all, on the shore, safe. And then you need bad endings where if you killed all the characters off, it's like the monsters win. So I think the variety is key, and you need those different endings that reward you or punish you based off of how you got on. But now if we look at The Devil in Me, the ending to that game had some little sub-endings, didn't it? And they were quite powerful, weren't they?
Oh, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed going back and playing this Ultimatum sequence. Obviously for me, because my survivors in my original playthrough were Charlie, Jamie and Mark. It was Kate and Erin that got killed. So for me, to see Mark and Kate get to the end and everyone else having been killed off was quite different. And it was brilliant because you then play as Kate and you break into the room in the lighthouse, and you obviously hear that Mark and the killer have had a bit of a scuffle. You see this body on the floor, and it says, "Help Mark," or "Investigate the noise that's coming from a cupboard." And this is, I think, a brilliant choice, because I obviously picked, and obviously I knew about it beforehand, go help Mark, but it was the killer dressed up in Mark's hoodie. So then he completely threw you, turned around, grabbed you, knocked you out. And then obviously it then plays out of this scene where there's a gramophone in the background, and then obviously Dume gives Mark the opportunity to carry on the cycle. And the fact that there was that deviation, it didn't always end up on the speedboat getting away from the island, I thought was fantastic. And it really was a no-win situation, because even if you went along with the plan, then you lose on a moral sense because you've brought more people to their deaths on this island. But equally, if you don't do that, then of course Mark and Kate will then just get killed outright. So I really do love the fact that there's a dark no-win ending that they've put in there.
Yeah, I've told you before vocally that I very much actually prefer this ending, and if this game was a movie, I would have that be the ending, where you escape on the boat and then you get drawn back, and then the killer wins by sniping you, thus the cycle continues, which is a big sort of theme about this game, how it's always a cycle, right? Now, I'm a big fan of the show Black Mirror. Now, one thing I love about Black Mirror is that you're gonna have a variety of endings. Some of them are just super dark, where the villain wins or the technology wins, and your protagonist gets absolutely vanquished or doesn't have a nice ending. And then you have ones where they do, and you really don't know what you're gonna get. Now, I love the fact that we have this with these games in general, based off of the different endings we can have. But yeah, like I say, I think The Devil in Me is much more powerful if Demet wins. I don't know, there's almost a beauty in the darkness, I find. And yeah, I reiterate, I think that is the ending I would write if it was a book or a film, mate. I don't know about you.
100% it goes against the script, doesn't it? Because the whole objective of this game is what you're going in for. It's a horror, you're trying to get these characters saved. And you'd like to think, even just through life, that good will always conquer over evil. So to have that script span on you, and it's actually the bad guy that wins, it does leave that sort of taste in your mouth where it's bad, but you're weirdly attracted to it. I don't know how else to describe it. But But what I would say, maybe just to play as devil's advocate here, in terms of whether we should have more bad endings, that's not to say that there hasn't been bad endings in these games. You think of Man of Medan, you can have the ending where Conrad comes back to an empty ship and he's ultimately on his own. You can have the ending where the whole crew make it to the end and then the army come down, or the FBI, whoever it is, in a helicopter and gun them all to death. With little hope, of course, the lead character Anthony can commit suicide. In House of Ashes, Rachel can theoretically be abandoned underground in this cocoon. So there is stuff there. It's just, how likely is it that you're going to get these bad endings in a blind playthrough? And should there be more of them? Should there be more opportunities for the villain to win? And I've got to say, I vote yes.
I think as well, because we can't deviate from the fact that these are horror games, and if you're a massive horror fan, you will know that, you know, the protagonist doesn't always win. You know, you look at, say, the Wrong Turn films, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. There will be franchises in there, or certain standalone films, where it will end on the villain winning. And I think it would just bleed and marry very well into that whole horror aspect of the game, mate.
Absolutely, 100%. And you know what? It was really satisfying finishing The Devil in Me. And like when you're speaking to the curator and he can say, oh, you know, X and Y died, and he sort of has his little puns. But I love the fact when he even brings up the dog. Like if you kill the dog, he'll say something. He'll be like really sort of spiky with you. And he'll be like, even the dog didn't make it out of your game. And I didn't think that was possible. And it's just like little lines like that. I thought that was really good. Like, you know, obviously, you know, you want to save the dog. It's like, you know, objective number one. But the fact that they did take the time to put that in there, I really appreciated it. Okay, guys. So yeah, that was a short and sweet video discussing whether there should be more bad endings in these DPA or Supermassive games in general. Thank you very much to Tatjana for that request. But mate, did you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just obviously, guys, if you have any other things you want to, you know, us to discuss, feel free to leave them in the comments. Tatjana did. Thank you very much again, Tatjana. Obviously, you've been there thick and thin for the channel for a while now, whether it's Detroit Become Human, the Devil in Me videos, constantly commenting. We really appreciate the support. So yeah, guys, like we're really open to any sort of discussions you want us to talk about. This was like quite an interesting topic to discuss here. So yeah, feel free to leave them. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know if you agree with us. Should there be darker endings? Let us know. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.